guys, I'm back. Yes, I was busy with cheerleading. I've been busy with life, the usual. Whatever. Nikki's just a busy person. I wanted to come to y'all with a girl talk. Hence why I'm in a t-shirt and sweatpants. Because this has been on my mind for 2 days. At least, and my guides have been very loud. Because we are in a crisis, okay? The price of PP is on the floor. It's on the floor, it's missing, she's MIA, she can't be found, she doesn't want to be found. And I know what you're thinking. Number one, Nikki, you're SLUT shaming. No, I'm not. I've been there. I don't judge y'all. Okay? Number two, replace the word price with value. The value of PP is on the floor. This is how most men are treating it. This is how most women are treating it. And what prompted this video was I had an in-person reading about a week ago, which I don't normally do for the reason I'm about to tell you. This girl had come to me. She's a friend of a friend. You know, I trust my friend, so I trust her. She thought that this man was doing love work on her because she was so enamored. And she's like, Nikki, I don't really get like this. I don't know what's going on. I feel like it's a love spell. I don't know. And so she comes to me and I do my divination, and he had not done love work on her. He hadn't gotten anybody else to do love work on her. It was, she slept with him the first night that they met and got attached. Emotionally, physically, spiritually, whatever. And so her mind, her heart, her body, and her spirit are all at war. Because her spirit is trying to reject it. Her body is attached to him because of the hormones. Her mind and her heart can't make sense of it because in her mind it doesn't make sense to feel so enamored with a guy that you spent one night with. And her heart is fighting the feelings. That's all it was. And she was crying in my lap. That's why I don't do in-person readings, because normally I'm mounted and or channeling. So that spirit that typically comes down does not like being touched by strangers. And so when she fell with her head into my lap and was just distraught, you know, I held her for like an hour and my heart was breaking with her. Because I know how she feels. I know the regret that she feels. And I'm thankful that I was the reader that she chose to go to, because I truly feel like this is the direction that my path, my business, my purpose is taking at this moment. A lot of women's healing, a lot of, you know, treasuring and protecting and renewing the divine feminine type thing. And if she had gone to another reader, they might have shamed her or, you know, brushed it off. But I actually understand the spiritual component, physical evolution, emotional, and I can kind of walk her through it. And it breaks my heart because when I'm doing these readings for y'all and you're heartbroken and it's with a one-night stand or a situationship or something like that, I don't judge you. But I will gently and sweetly encourage you to guard your womb with your life, because your life depends on it. Truly. I know women who have felt suicidal because of this. And it turns into an internal war because you know, logically, it doesn't make sense. And society tells you it doesn't make sense because they normalize it. They normalize one-night stands. And for women and men, it's not normal. Yes, we've always had the Don Juans and the Casanovas and, you know, the kings with the 12 wives and whoever. But when you talk about average families, average men and women, think about it. Chances are, a lot of men back then, and when I say back then, I mean like 200 years ago and backwards. Like, if that. Honestly, probably 150 years. But the average man could not provide resources for more than one family. He might have had a good job that was stable and reliable and safe for him. Sometimes not safe. But he would have the resources to care for one family. So a wife and however many children they have. And evolution-wise, you're not going to want to spread your seed around and put it into a woman that you can't take care of because you're already taking care of one family and you don't have the resources to do both. Because that's a threat to the human race. Obviously not, with one person, but if that happens enough, the human race could be wiped out because no one would be able to take care of the child. The woman would be vulnerable from childbirth, can't go out and hunt, can't go out and gather. So she needs a man or someone to do it for her. It doesn't make sense. And I understand we're in different times, but your body and biology has not caught up. And again, I gave that example of the man providing the resources because this goes for men and women. Everybody tries to act like it's normal for men to fuck around, and it's weird. It's like they act like it's normal for men and then say it's okay for a woman to fuck around when really it's not good for either of us. And it's like men pick and choose what they view with equality. Like, yeah, they'll want you to pay half the bills. They'll want you to work just as hard as them, just as much. But they don't want you messing around, even though they are. It's very sick. It's very disgusting. And that's why, Spirit is tired of it because it's yet another form of oppression for women. Because when you lay down with a stranger, who was at risk of pregnancy? You or him? You. You have to protect your womb with your life because your life could depend on it. Women still die in childbirth. Women still die from miscarriages and abortions. From bleeding out or other complications. Pregnancy is life-threatening to women. Yes, it's gotten a lot safer. Don't get me wrong. But the risk is always there. So you put yourself at risk for pregnancy, then your life's at risk. Then, after the child is born, if he's not there, you have to be the mother and the father, and it's just not good. You alter the whole path of your life. From a one-night stand, this can happen. This does happen. It's not me being dramatic or sexist because I'm sitting here saying it's not normal for either one. Did y'all know that there's men that don't believe in sex outside of marriage? For them? And they've only slept with their wife? And if they divorced her and got remarried, they've only slept with the first and second wife and that's it? They exist. They're very rare. Trust me. But they're there. And guess what? Those families typically last a lot longer. Because things are appreciated more. Things are treasured. The U.S. is fucked up. Women are at an all-time low right now. It's at least when we didn't have any rights, we didn't have to, work. And we could be at home with our kids. And you can always find a way to make money. There were always women that had little businesses or witches that sold tinctures and stuff for a little side hustle that they kept that money to themselves. Now, it's in every area of a woman's life, society is trying to ruin her. And the men go right along with it. And when you sleep with someone, STDs exist. I don't know why people forget this, but you're putting yourself at risk for disease and infection. Spiritually, you are exchanging energies. You don't know what kind of brujeria that person might have on them, what kind of spiritual attachments, what kind of bad karma, which I don't really believe the universe is stupid enough to where their bad karma is just going to fully leak onto you. I think that spirit and God and creation and everybody knows where that karma needs to go, but I do think that it can affect you negatively, at least a little bit. Their ancestral baggage, which also correlates to their gut biome. Even if you use protection, because you're still, skin to skin contact, I'm pretty sure that's how it happens. But somehow y'all exchange gut microbiome bacteria, which not only determines the health of your digestion, but also your mental health. Your anxiety, your depression, your stress levels, your hormones and stuff. Like, the gut and the brain are very related. And you don't know what kind of ancestral baggage they have in their DNA. Like, if depression or alcoholism, obesity, anxiety, schizophrenia, like, run in their lineage. Like, and I'm not fear-mongering either, by all means. Like one of my guides said, like 2 years ago, if you really want to be an HO3, be the best HO3 you can be. And she was serious when she said it. What she means is, like, protect yourself, be smart, and get what you can out of it, if that's how you want to live. But also be aware of what goes on behind the scenes. Because I don't think that in spiritual women, to put all this pressure on us to, like, lay down with men, but in the end, we're not getting anything out of it. At least before, like, they had to wait until we were married and we got, ideally, a house and an estate and a legacy and assets and provision and a good name that we married into. Like, at least we got something. Now it's like they want that and they don't want to give anything. And I'm telling y'all, it is in shambles. And the way that this can be stopped is like, the way that this can be stopped is women not putting out as easy. And it's not like, it's not fun. Like, I've become so picky, even more picky than I always have been the last 1.5 to 2 years. And I'll tell guys fairly early on, like, I don't sleep with guys that I'm not heavily committed to, and vice versa. And even then, like, I have to be with them for a good amount of time before I feel comfortable enough sleeping with them. And a lot of times, the guy will act like, oh, okay, yeah, I like that. I respect that. It's not a problem. And then y'all go your separate ways that night, and he ghosts you. Like, have guys walked out of my life because I won't put out? But now, because I'm grown, I'm like, thank you, higher self, God, impulsos, my loa, my ego, thank you. Because that's all he was after anyway. If you can't see me for anything else besides a good time, get the fuck out of my life. Like, I'm so much more than that. You truly don't know who and what you're dealing with. Like, good riddance, basically. And it helps weed out a lot of dirtbags. And there's always some that will stick around hoping and thinking you'll change your mind, or they'll rush you into commitment because they think that once the title is there, you'll... Yeah, they think, like, once the title is there, you'll put out instantly. guys, like, you have to protect your womb. Because low-level men will try to use you for it. And spiritual men are not exempt. I've dated some really good spiritual men, and I've dated some bad ones. But for all intents and purposes, were low level. If anything, they were worse than the muggles because they knew an extra level of manipulation that now I can see through like a book. I mean, I can smell that player and fuckboy and Don Juan energy 2 miles away. Like, you stink. Because just as much as the woman is receiving energies, so is the man. So if you do that to enough women, it sticks to you. And a high-level, clairvoyant, clairsentient woman can spot you from very far. Just saying. But I don't want y'all... I'm so tired of women going through this. I don't want y'all to be hurt anymore. Like, if I have to choose between being single for the rest of my life or being used as a toy perpetually, I'll just be single. You know, if those are my only two options, and they are not. They're not. Small-minded men think that way. They're like, oh, you're not putting out, you'll be alone for the rest of your life. No, I won't. I'm not alone right now. Guess what? I have like, I'm not going to tell y'all how many I have on my roster. I'm not sleeping with any of them, obviously. But all of them know when it is. I could have 3 dates tonight if I wanted to. All I gotta do is text those 3 and be like, I'm bored. I want to go out, sad face. Boom, boom, boom. Dates, like that. I'm not alone. It's just I've been picky, and I've chosen to decline the proposals that I've been offered because I can easily be married with 3 kids by now on number 4. Pregnant with number 4 if I wanted to. But I respect my body, I respect my journey, my time, my womb, my lineage. Like, if you are struggling in dating and you already have a connection with your ancestors, one of the best things you can do, besides doing your own inner work, if you have an ancestor that you trust, that you knew in real life, and you know they're a good person, and you trust their decisions, light up a candle, talk to them. Say, guide me. If there's some tweaks that I need to make in how I date and how I approach my love life, please guide me. Whether it's in my dreams, my readings, my intuition, resources, people coming into my life, like teachers, and help me pick out someone that you know is good for me and good for our lineage. Because there is nothing worse than being with the person that you really love and y'all's egos don't get along for whatever reason. And sometimes they won't agree. It's just like in the olden days when the woman would be single, right? And she'd have like 18 suitors and her family picked out for her. The good families gave her a say, you know, and gave their input, but ultimately it was her decision. But, you know, like family, if your family loves you and they're healthy and they're good to you, yeah, they should have some input. Because you're passing on their DNA and their name and their legacy and their energy. So, I'm not saying be a prude. Look, I love trampoline time. Okay, I have a lot of trampoline energy myself. I'm very sensual, I'm very passionate. I love love. But I don't give my body to anybody because they don't deserve it. They don't. And coercion is another form of SA. Pressuring. If he is trying to pressure you to drink more alcohol so that you loosen up even more, that's a red flag. If he absolutely will not take you out on a real date, but y'all have been like texting and talking for a few weeks or a few months, and he's just like, no, if you want to see me, you can come to my house. I'm not going out. That's manipulation, babe. Because he has talked to you and talked in your ear for a good minute. And so you think, oh, I'll make an exception this time. I trust him. I know he's a good guy because we've been talking. And I'll just go spend the night with him. You know, he's not going to hurt me or anything. And then he manipulates you. And unfortunately, this is very low level shit. This is not normal. Please hear me. Even though it is so common in our generation, it's not normal, babe. Just like slavery was normal. Looking back, is that normal? Is that okay? No. Oppression of women. Was that normal? Yes. Was it ever okay? No. Please do not go by what society thinks and says and tries to push onto you as normal. Because for a long time, if ever, they've always gotten it wrong. You know. Lord. And it doesn't matter. Let me say this. If you can, meet a guy in person. But that doesn't really matter. They can still try to dog you out just the same. If anything, online can be better because you can see someone's life and you can Google them, you can do a background check. There's a lot of things you can do to protect yourself. But just quit giving into manipulation and pressure. Your body will thank you. Another thing that Spirit just reminded me of. Like I said a few minutes ago, if you are an elevated woman, or elevating at least, and you're in tune, as time goes on, you can smell that player, Casanova energy 2 miles away. Like, they stink. Right? With that said, if you can't read him, or maybe you do see that, but you look past it, and you lay down with him, and he's sleeping with other women, or other men, because who knows, there's a few signs that, like, your body is rejecting him. And that can either be because, number one, he has very bad intentions towards you, he's under psychic attack, he's just not a good vibrational match, or he's sleeping with other women, or both. One way to tell is, like, if you sleep with a guy and even if you're on birth control, let's say that you're on the middle of your cycle, right? So you're at the 2 weeks, which is ovulation technically, and then your cycle is coming in 2 more weeks. But you sleep with a guy, and the next morning, you have a full-blown period. Heavy, cramps, migraines, all your symptoms. Your period came out of nowhere. You know why? Because it's syncing up with the other woman or other women. I don't know the evolutionary biology and all that behind it. I just know it's real. I mean, you've heard, like, if there's a group of women and they're consistently around one another long enough, y'all's cycle will all sync up. for whatever reason. I remember when I was a pharmacy technician working in the pharmacy, and it was all women. I think we had one male employee, and he worked like 1 day a week. But after about 3 months of me being there, like, all of our cycles were in sync and would happen at the same time, like within 2 to 3 days. And there were like 8 of us. It was weird. Which was not fun because we would all be like grumpy and crampy and moody at the same time every month. But, so I've seen it. Another way is if, and this one I have to be very careful when saying, because I don't need y'all getting a UTI and not going to the doctor because you think it's spiritual. If you have any type of uncomfortable physical symptoms, go to the doctor. Go to the hospital. If you've never been someone that gets frequent UTIs and you start sleeping with someone and all of a sudden, and you know that they clean themselves and they're a clean person, that's your body rejecting them. They can throw off your pH balance. I think those are the main three. Like the pH, the UTIs, and the period. I mean, feeling sick in your womb or your belly, like during or after trampoline time with them, you'll just know, like, your body will tell on them so quick, but you need to listen. Because your body knows. And as a woman, that's your gift. That's what it was made to do. So, I'm gonna get off of here. I think I'm gonna make another video tonight titled, like, Psychology and Spirituality of Fuckboys or something. Because it kind of coincides with this, because they're just trying to use women for sex. Whoa, men. Not all men. Not every man out there, good lord. But most of them. Like, the patriarchy is about to fall. Entire empires are about to be shut down. So it's getting very, very bad so that it can collapse and then get better. But if you want a reading with me, you can text me or message me and I'll get you booked. I don't mind doing love readings. I'm not against love or relationships or anything. I love love. I'm a Cancer. Y'all know that. I love trampoline time. I love pair bonding and all that. I don't like seeing y'all with men that don't appreciate you and that treat you like you're a toy. If anything. You know, that's not fair. So, I love you. I'll talk to you later. Bye.